hello there, you beautiful, friendly friends. Welcome to Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. My name is Greg Benson.
And I'm Craig Benzine.
You sound so excited. Why are you so excited?
I was just matching your energy.
Oh, no. I sound totally different than that. I don't sound like that.
Oh, you don't?
No. That's not. That's not my thing. I don't like to do that. I don't like to go over the top.
So you don't think an outside observer of you is accurate?
I don't know. I've never had an outside observer. Have you?
I mean, anyone you talk to, I guess, is an outside observer.
I should hire one. How are you, Craig? I'm so glad we're doing another episode of this fine podcast.
I'm doing good. I just had some fried shrimp and some Brussels sprouts. Wait, did you ask me what I ate? Is that what you asked me?
I wanted to know what you ate. So you said fried shrimp and fried Brussels sprouts. Wait, are they both fried?
Not fried Brussels sprouts.
Well,
no.
what? You should try frying them sometime.
Okay, maybe I will, but I didn't this time. I feel, Is that okay with you?
I guess. I guess it's okay. So when you fry your shrimp, you fry it in oil or do you like air fry it? What do you do?
I go to a restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
I order it the night before and I don't eat all of it and then I get it to go.
Geez, that sounds complicated.
It's actually much easier.
It sounds really complicated. I mean, who's got time for that? If you want to have lunch,
have you ever been to a restaurant?
No. I'm just saying, if I wanted to have lunch today, then I have to go back in time, order fried shrimp last night, not eat all of it, and then eat the rest of it today. It's way too complicated.
No, well, it's not really what I'm saying necessarily. I'm saying like that's just how I ended up with this fried shrimp. And if you want fried shrimp for lunch, you might want to just go get it for dinner at some point.
Well, what if I want fried shrimp for lunch today? Like, what you're saying does not make any sense at all. Like, if I want fried shrimp for lunch today, I cannot go to a restaurant last night. It's not possible.
Well, yeah, your specific situation now, yes, that would be difficult to go back in time. I'm not really giving you advice on how to have lunch now. That wasn't what you asked, actually.
Listen. Can we tie this all back to the theme of lettuce? Was there any lettuce involved with your fried shrimp and Brussels sprouts? Any sort of lettuce?
Well, I mean, Brussels sprouts have leaves on them.
Well, I guess that's true, but they're not real. I wouldn't say that Brussels sprouts are a form of lettuce.
No, but they're green and they're leafy.
Yeah, you're green and leafy. Boom.
What the hell, dude? What the hell?
Got you, though. You can't deny it.
I do feel got. I'm confused as to how, but I am got. And yeah, well, okay, you're right. It wasn't really lettuce. It wasn't a lettuce-oriented meal.
All right, yeah. So you're way off topic, and if there's one thing that I hate on this podcast is when we get off topic.
Yeah, I know you do. I know. Okay, back to lettuce. What do you want to say about lettuce, Greg?
I was thinking about lettuce. A lot of people eat lettuce, and then while they're eating it, that song "It's Raining Men" is playing. Remember that song, "It's Raining Men"? Yeah. So go with me here. And now in Seattle, I don't know if you've been to Seattle. It has the reputation of raining a lot there, but it really doesn't. It drizzles a lot. So do you think do they have the song "It's Drizzling Men"? Because "It's Drizzling Men" sounds it sounds wrong to me.
It feels like you're really shoehorning this topic in, and it's not. It really has nothing to do with lettuce.
People are eating lettuce while the song is. But you missed that part. They're eating lettuce. The song is playing, and they're thinking about if I was in Seattle, the song would be "It's Drizzling Men," and that sounds sexual somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose so. But why would the song have to change based on where it is? Like, would it be "It's Snowing Men in Siberia"?
Yeah, sure.
Would it be?
Wait, does it snow in Siberia?
I really don't know. Alaska.
I mean, Siberia
wherever.
sounds hot and dry to me.
Siberia?
I don't know a whole lot about Siberia. Where is Siberia?
It's in Russia.
Oh, Russia. Yeah, sure. See, look. I know you know
Parts
a lot
of it
about.
might be in China or some.
All right, I know you know a lot
Mongolia?
about Russia. I don't know anything about Russia.
Okay, I mean, I feel like I guess I know more than you.
I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know much at all. But I know more
what
than
language
you.
do they speak there? Is that Chinese? What is that?
Russian, actually.
Russian.
Yeah.
Russian. Is that how
there
you
might
say
be
it?
Chinese speakers there as well. They do neighbor China.
Yeah, I
so.
bet there probably are. I've heard there a lot of people probably more people speak Chinese there than other stuff.
Well, not more than Russian.
By the way, listen, guys, I want to address our listeners right now. I really feel like it's necessary to, before we get into this too much, to apologize to everyone for Craig's highly offensive comments on the previous episode. I apologize on behalf of Craig Benzine. I'm sorry if any of you were offended. And I really hope that you don't hold it against us or me personally for things that he has said.
I would apologize if I said anything offensive, but I do not remember what I said.
Craig, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Ruin what?
I have a plan.
Oh.
I thought if I told people that you said offensive things in the last episode, if they didn't hear the last episode, they'd go back and listen to it.
Do you think when you talk like that no one can hear you except me? Is that what you think?
Just for you. They can't hear me. I'm not opening my mouth. My teeth are closed.
Yeah, that's true.
See how my teeth are closed?
I do see that, and I can hear it very clearly because you're saying it in a microphone, and it's being recorded. I really like your marketing initiative on this, but why would I feel like you're throwing me under the bus a little bit.
No, I would never do that because you'd get run over by that bus. That would hurt you.
Yeah, that's what's implied there.
Yeah. No, I would if you and I were walking down the street, there was a bus driving along right next to us. I would never throw you under it. That would be horrible because then I'd be a murderer.
It's a metaphor. Throwing someone under the bus is a metaphor.
I would never throw a metaphor under the bus. That'd be a ridiculous thing to do.
So Greg doesn't know literary devices, and he doesn't know Russia, doesn't know geography.
Well, at least I didn't say all the things that you said on the last episode that were so horribly offensive.
What were they?
I'm not about, you're not going to trick me. I'm not going to repeat things because then people will take my quotes out of context, which are your quotes, and it'll be all over social media, and then I'll be canceled.
All right, listen. Okay, I did say some things in the last podcast.
There you go.
And Greg said some things too. Greg said some things too.
Make it sound super bad.
These were words that were uttered that we can't take back because we said them. And even though the episode that we recorded isn't out yet, and we could go back and edit it out if we wanted to. As we record this, that previous episode is not public.
Oh, God, this is too complicated.
Okay. All right. Is it?
I mean, it really is. I mean, you're saying that basically by the time that people hear this, the last episode won't be out yet?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't make any sense. Maybe we're releasing them in the wrong order.
No. We're releasing them right order. We're just ahead of schedule. We're just far ahead of schedule. Yeah.
Well, we have to be because you never know what's going to happen in life.
That's true. You gotta prepare. You gotta record your podcast well in advance so that if world events happen, we will be way out of touch.
Well, we don't want episode. I mean, maybe that's why we shouldn't be topical. We shouldn't bring up news stuff. Let's just give an example. Hey, how about that Elian Gonzalez kid?
Okay.
Boy. Yeah. Oh, boy. I feel bad for that kid.
That was a very intense moment in the 90s. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Boy, oh, boy. That's got me thinking and talking on social media. That's for sure.
Social media wasn't even around then, and I'm not sure anyone has ever. It's never trended on social media.
Well, it's high time it has.
Okay. You want to see if we can get that going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get that. Everybody, when you talk about this episode, be sure and do hashtag Elian Gonzalez. In fact, that's the name of this episode. Hashtag Elian Gonzalez.
All right.
And that's gonna probably get us a lot of new listeners because they'll be like, oh my gosh, finally somebody's talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm taking in all the news right now about it because it's all that anyone's talking about.
I bet if you Google his name and the word lettuce, you'll probably find some really interesting stories where we just tie it all together. I'm
going to do that right now, actually.
You should.
Okay. Elian, how do you spell Elian?
I don't, listen, I'm not, this is not a spelling bee. This is, I'm not getting graded on this.
Elian Gonzalez.
I can't spell everything. I don't even know how to operate a smartwatch.
I spelled it right. I didn't spell Gonzalez right, but I spelled Elian right.
I would spell Gonzalez with a Z and then an S at the end.
Nope, it's a Z at the end.
Oh,
it's
really?
EZ at the end, not A. I would have said AS.
Gonzalez. Is it? So it's two. There's two Z's in Gonzalez.
There is.
See,
you don't get a lot of last names with two Z's. Mine has one Z in it.
We're all learning something about this. See, I don't have any Z's in my name.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have some in my naps. Ha ha! Boom! Boom!
Wow. Take a break, Greg. Actually, after that joke, you deserve a break.
Thank you.
You know what? Go sit down. Read a book or
I am
something.
sitting down. I am reading a book.
You are?
Yeah.
What are you reading?
Reading a book right now.
What are you reading?
The Life and Times of Winston Churchill.
Uh-huh.
It's hilarious.
Okay, sure. I actually did read what was it called? There's a newer book about Winston Churchill during the bombings of World War II. I did read that.
Well, he wasn't alive during World War II.
Winston Churchill?
Yeah.
Which Winston Churchill are you talking about?
The one who's the member of the band Oasis. He's like the bass player, the bass player for Oasis.
No, I don't even know who that is.
Well, you don't know the band Oasis?
I do know the band. I don't know who the bassist is.
The bass player is Winston Churchill, the famous Winston Churchill. He's known for being the bass player of Oasis. Wait, hang on. Let me Google it because I want to make sure it's spelled
I'm
Oasis.
not finding anything that is Elian Gonzalez and lettuce related. Just a bunch of stories about Elian Gonzalez.
Wait a minute. No, I think I got the name wrong. Turns out the bassist for
way.
Oasis is Noel Gallagher.
Yes.
The comedian who smashes watermelons.
I didn't realize he was I actually didn't realize he was the bassist. I thought he was just a guitarist.
Yeah. He smashes watermelons, and he's very funny. And people love when they go to his concerts, and they'll bring plastic sheeting and put the plastic sheets over when Oasis sings their songs and smashes the watermelons. It's hilarious.
No, you're thinking of very similar Gallagher, but not
Noel Gallagher. Yes,
not Noel
Gallagher is his name.
But I understand that you're getting close to what you want to say, but I bet Gallagher sometimes would put lettuce on the stage and smash it.
Look at you bringing it around. You're a professional.
Yeah.
You are a professional. So he would take his Sledge-O-Matic and he'd smash some iceberg, like a head of iceberg.
Yeah. And then the audience would get stuff on them. And it happened over and over again.
Here's some lettuce news. Speaking of iceberg, if you ever go on a cruise and you go over to the all-you-can-eat buffet and you see where the lettuce is and they have iceberg lettuce, do not shout out iceberg at the top of your lungs.
Okay.
They don't like that. Really? Trust me, I know from experience.
To this day, they're very sensitive about icebergs. Like even if you're on a cruise like around Florida.
Yeah, they do not care for that.
Are there a lot of icebergs over there?
I think they're just embarrassed that they couldn't afford a better quality lettuce. Like they never spring for butter lettuce on a cruise, for instance. It's all iceberg. Yeah.
They cheap out on the lettuce?
They cheap out on everything on cruises.
I've never been on a cruise.
You know what? I'm going to take you on a cruise. You and me. It's going to be a romantic cruise, the two of us. Don't tell our wives, but cool. I'm taking you on a cruise next week.
Based on what I read in the news, it seems like a very safe,
absolutely,
a clean experience.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You and I are gonna have a good time. It'll be romantic. It'll be fun.
Okay,
in a friendship way. It'll be a friendship romantic experience.
Okay, you mean like friendship and romance are two different things. You don't really combine those.
Well, so says
I guess there's something called. I guess there is a bromance. You could say it's a bromance.
I feel like what we have is a bromance right now. I feel like what you and I have is a bromance.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've never done this podcast in person. I haven't seen you in person in like 3 years, 4 years.
We're about to fix that, though. You're coming to visit.
Okay. Yeah, that is true. I am coming to visit.
Yeah, and you're going to bring your wife and your little Biabia with you, your tiny, tiny little Biabia.
We may actually have an in-person episode or a few.
I bet we'll do probably 10 to 15 episodes while you're here.
So, gee, I'm going to be there, I think, for a week. But
it's just 2 a day. We'll do 2 a day. That'll be 14 episodes.
Seems like we're spending an awful lot of time on the podcast and not just enjoying trips.
just enjoying our lives. No, we'll do 1 or 2 for sure. Maybe, and you know what? We also what else we should do is a Bad Movies Live episode in person.
Okay, that sounds great.
For any of your fans who have joined this podcast, Craig often appears on my live Twitch show, which is called Bad Movies Live. It's on twitch.tv/mediocrefilms every Friday night at 6 Pacific and every Sunday night at 5 Pacific. And you're going to be on Friday, June 17th. So by the time that this has aired, everyone listening will have already missed it.
Yes. So please go back in time, like we talked about earlier, and watch it live.
Luckily,
and also for your listeners, who have fans of you who have come to listen to this podcast,
absolutely.
I have a YouTube channel called Wheezy Waiter.
How do you spell that?
YouTube.com/WheezyWaiter, WHEEZY, and Greg never appears on it. So,
now that's not true. I have appeared in a couple of your videos.
Yeah, that's true.
We have been in it's just been a long time.
Yeah, you will not find those videos because they're buried. They're buried by a lot of other videos.
You're telling me that if someone goes to your channel, they click videos and they click that little search box and they type in my name, they're not going to find those videos.
Okay, they could search for them, I suppose. But how many videos were you in of mine? 2, 3?
I would say 2. I remember we did one in front of the fence at my old house, and then I remember when you visited at the new place, we did something where you actually went, it was something that was all about beer, and you went to a local pub, and I think I appear on that too.
We just got a sponsor shout out because I went to my front page.
Well, I'm just glad we have another sponsor
of my channel. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that was Grammarly, and they are sponsoring this, and they how much did they pay us?
Well, nothing yet.
Oh,
we actually have to contact them and let them know that they're a sponsor, because they're what you call a surprise sponsor. We tell everyone that we were sponsored by them, then we send it to Grammarly, and they're like, "Oh, we better give you money." That's how it usually works.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody's ever done that? Ever just had someone sponsor their podcast who wasn't really sponsoring it, and then kept reaching out to them, going "Guys, I keep shouting out to you every single week."
I feel like that could have happened, but it also seems like, why would they sponsor if they're just getting it free?
Oh man, there you go with your logic.
Yeah,
man.
So here's the thing: I'm searching and I can't find the videos you were in.
Oh, you never credited me.
I'm sure I did, but you appeared at the end of one of my older videos. I remember that, and the beer one was actually for the good stuff, a different channel.
Oh, that's right. Well, listen, when you come out here, perhaps we should make it a point that I make a brief appearance, no more than say 6 to 7 seconds in whatever.
That seems like pushing it. That's a little long, but okay, we'll see.
4 to 5 seconds, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Is that acceptable? 3 seconds? What's better?
Well, the better. Really,
2.5 seconds.
2 to 1. We'll say 2 to 1 second.
Yeah, all right, so I'll just get in there. I'll just go, and then that's it. Just in the middle of your video, just me going,
I love
and people will be like, was that an editing mistake?
In fact, we don't have to do it because we just did it now, and you can just send me that audio.
That'd be perfect.
Then,
but you match it with a picture of me, and people would be like, is that an editing mistake that you put Greg Benson in there for a second and a half going,
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good, except we don't even need the picture. We could just do just the audio.
Man, these are good ideas. I'm so glad we're coming up with these ideas.
No, I would love to have you on. If I lived out there in La La Land, as they say.
That's what everybody out here calls it.
I'm sure they do.
They walk out every morning going, "Boy, it sure is nice to live here in La La Land."
Yeah, Holly weird. I'm sure they say that too.
Nothing but fruits and nuts and flakes here. That's what they say. It's like living in a bowl of cereal. That's what they say. Everybody says that here.
Yeah. Well, out there where you're in La La Land, if I lived there, Greg, we would collaborate every day.
All right, I'm sure we would. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we would until finally you took out a restraining order.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to have you and the family come out here. I think it's going to be great, and that brings us to our exclusive bonus talking section just for our Patreon listeners at patreon.com/2guys-talking-about-lettuce. And now it begins.
Okay, it begins.
This portion of Two Guys Talking About Lettuce has been edited out for your listening inconvenience. If you wish to hear the complete, unedited version with the bonus talking, be sure to visit patreon.com/2guys-talking-about-lettuce. And now, back to the edited, not as good version of the podcast.
And that's the end of the bonus talking section. We hope that you enjoyed it. All of you people on the Patreon. By the way, speaking of the Patreon, I've got good news. A 13th patron has joined us just recently.
Okay.
I'm going to open up right now. I'm going to open up Patreon, and I'll let you know that the 13th patron who has joined us is Kevin. And I want to thank Kevin. Thanks a lot, Kevin, for joining us.
Kevin, thank you. You know
Kevin
that
has joined us.
I think my parents almost named me Kevin.
Wow, my parents would have named me Carrie if I was a girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what your name would have been if you were a girl?
Craigette, Craigina.
Well, now that doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous.
No,
those are not even names.
Yeah. I have. I have no idea.
You're being silly right now. I'm trying to have a conversation, and you're just being silly.
Am I really just like making the place too goofy?
You're being a silly person, is what you're.
I know we like to tackle the tough issues here. We like to talk. We like to get serious.
Speaking of getting serious, do you ever look back at your life and just think, what the hell happened?
Greg, are you okay? Is everything okay?
It's about you. It's not about me. It's about you, Craig.
But I mean, the way you asked the question was like, it made it seem like that's something that you're going through.
No, I'm just saying. Do you ever look at your life and say, where did all the joy go? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I actually feel pretty good. That doesn't really happen to me lately. Like I'm pretty happy with my life. How about you? How about you?
I'm fine. I don't know why you're asking.
Yeah. I mean, you brought it up.
I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine.
When you start a question like do you ever, that makes it seem like that is something that you do.
Yeah.
And that's the asker of the question does.
All right. All right.
Are you okay? What's going on? What's happening to your voice right now?
I was just doing a different voice. I thought you'd enjoy the different voice that I was doing.
What kind of voice was that?
I don't know. It was a new character. I haven't titled it yet. Let's just call him Steve. That's my new character, Steve.
Okay, I feel you've used Steve already as for some reason on this podcast.
Steve is my favorite comedy name. To me, there's no name funnier than Steve.
Gary is my go-to, actually.
Wow, and I believe that Mel Brooks' name that he always goes to is Murray. I think he uses Murray.
Murray is good.
Murray is a pretty good name.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, with me, it's always Steve. Maybe it's because I'm a huge Steve Martin fan, or maybe just because I think that Steve is just such a plain, funny name.
I think Gary. To me, it's Gary. But Steve is actually probably a more common name and still used. You don't meet a lot of Garys.
I know a Gary. I know. I grew up with a guy named Gary.
Oh yeah. How do you know this Gary?
Well, I mean, his parents and my parents were friends, and so we became friends.
Yeah.
The end.
See, listen, this guy Gary sounds hilarious. That's why I use the name Gary.
You're right. He's awesome. He's great. And if he's listening, I want to say, hi, Gary. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
You don't have to yell.
Gary, over here. No. Over here, Gary.
Greg, why are you yelling?
I went away from the microphone and I wanted to let him know where I was.
So are you yelling in reality around you that you want him to hear you?
I'm just saying.
Do you think if you yell into the podcast that a form of marketing that more people are going to hear?
No. Look, it's very simple, Craig.
Okay.
I just thought if Gary joined the podcast and he was listening and he didn't know where I was, I would just shout out so he would be able to pinpoint my location.
But no matter what you shout or how you shout, it's going to come from the same place, a speaker or headphones.
Look, I don't know the ins and outs of technology.
And if Gary were listening to this podcast, I think he would be very aware of where the sound was coming from.
You know, I'm going to reach out to Gary because I haven't actually reached out to him in years. And I'm going to reach out to him and I'm going to say, you need to listen to episode 9 of the podcast because we talk about you. And he's like, what? I haven't seen you in years. I never even think about you. And now you're talking about me on a podcast? I'm like, we talked about you for like 5 straight minutes. I was even shouting out to you, literally shouting your name. And now you get to listen to it.
Now, can you actually give a detail about Gary so that he feels like we're actually talking about him?
I will give a detail about Gary. When Gary and I were kids, I've always loved records. I've always loved to collect records, especially when I was a kid. 45s. I love 45s. You know, I would go
like Colt 45.
No. And now you're being ridiculous. I'm trying to be serious here and have a conversation. You're acting like a crazy person.
All right.
So we would get a Colt 45, and So I would go to garage sales, and I would either buy comedy albums or 45s, little music records. You know, records that have music on them. I don't know if you've ever had any of those records. Anyway,
I have. Yeah.
So one time I was over at Gary's house, and his sister had all these 45s, and then I said, hey, you know what we should do is we should split up these 45s and figure out which ones of these you're going to keep and which ones I'm going to keep. And he said, okay. So we took all the 45s out to the front porch, which is where you split records up. And
everyone knows.
Yeah, and we started to create 2 piles of records. Like, I'm going to keep this pile and you're going to keep this pile. And while we were doing that, his sister, who was older, came home and she said, what are you doing with my records? And we said, oh, we're just splitting them up. The ones that Gary's going to keep and the ones I'm going to keep. She said, these are my records. You can't have these records. And I'm like, but what? And I was like, man, if she hadn't have come home, I would have gotten all those records.
Yeah.
And honestly, Gary's sister ruined it. Gary, if you're listening, your sister ruined it.
What was his sister's name?
I don't remember, and I don't even remember what the records were now because I never had a chance to listen to them, but I'm sure they were amazing.
Did you say to Gary's sister, you know what? This is bullcrap. And years later, I'm not even going to remember your name. I'm going to forget your name. Is that what you said to her?
I probably said something like, I'm sure I was always a very prescient kid. So I'm sure that I probably said something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe I didn't get those records. I bet those would have been my favorite records.
Yeah, they probably were.
I'm still just so upset.
Do you have siblings?
I have one older brother.
How much older?
He's 2.5 years older. How about you?
I have a sister, 6 years older.
6 years older. That's a bigger difference. Yeah. Did you get along with her when you were growing up?
I did get along with her, but she did, more or less. But she, I remember, did a lot of tickle torture. Which was,
man.
Terrible.
So she would hire people to come to the house and tickle torture her?
No.
Like grown men?
No. I think you're misunderstanding.
Wait, what? I don't understand. Wait, just be more specific.
She would hold me down and tickle me.
Oh no, I didn't expect that. I mean, look, you can't expect for me to glean. Is it glean or gleam? You can't expect me to glean.
Glean, I think.
Glean that information from what you've just shared.
Okay, I mean context. I feel like you need to pay attention to context a little more, Greg.
I don't know. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in.
You come into a conversation with an agenda of your own and you ignore context. I think that's what's happening here.
Oh my God! You and I have just like the conversations that we have on this podcast are just like, I'm sure people listen to this and they can identify. They're like, this is exactly like the conversations that I had with my own father for many, many years.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's why people listen to this.
Because you're my father? Is that what's happening?
I don't know which one's the father.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one is the father here.
You're older than me.
All right, so tell me a little bit. I'm very much older than you. So tell me a little bit more about your sister. Is she cute?
Oh, Greg.
What? Look. If she's not cute, just nod your head. If she's not cute, just nod. No one will see it.
Greg. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm not. Why do you want to know that? Why do you want to know
You guys, literally, I want you guys to know. I'm watching Craig right now, and he's crying. He's literally wiping his eyes from crying right now. I've really upset him.
No, yeah, I'm so sad right now. I'm sad.
And then my job is done.
Yeah.
My job is done. But seriously, though, if she's cute, tell her hi from me. Yeah, just say, hey, Greg says hi.
Only if she's cute, I will go. Okay, yeah. All right.
I'm married. Craig, this is inappropriate. I am married. I'm a happily married man.
I know. Is your brother cute? Or
Oh, yeah. He's a good-looking guy. He looks a lot like me.
Oh. So you don't have to tell him hi. That's fine.
All right.
Anyway. Whew.
Oh, boy.
She would listen to a lot of Janet Jackson and the Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Oh my God, I love Janis Joplin. That's terrific.
Yeah,
I love
that's unrelated. That's unrelated.
Yeah.
But,
Lord, won't you buy me
so
a Mercedes Benz?
I listened to a lot of that stuff, and also she would watch Nightmare on Elm Street and other horror movies that I think I watched at a younger age than I probably should have because of her. So.
You know, I got to tell you something. I don't know if my son, Charlie, I won't say his name on the podcast because I want to keep that private. If he is a little more sensitive.
You said his name, you know.
Well, just disregard that. It's going to be edited out, I'm sure. I'm sure once we hand this to the editors, they're going to edit that out or censor it or something.
Do we have editors?
If they're going to censor it, it's going to sound like this. Hello, everybody. Beep. Like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, now where was I? Now you made me lose my train.
Your train of thought?
No. I had a little toy train. You made me lose it.
No, you didn't have a toy train.
I had a toy train. I had a toy train right here, Craig.
You were talking about Charlie.
Yeah. Talking about Charlie. Right. And I don't know if he's more sensitive than most kids, but my wife has been reading him the first Harry Potter book, and apparently
I gotta say, when you were referring to your wife as my wife, is at first was more annoying than funny, but the more you do it, the funnier it gets. I actually laughed a little that time.
Well,
I actually laughed a little.
The rule is when you say those two words, you have to say them like Borat. Everybody knows that's the rule.
Yeah.
So apparently, even just in the first book, there were some things in there that he found unsettling. Like a demon drinking a unicorn's blood or whatever. Once my wife got to that point and read that.
Wait, which book are we talking about?
We're talking about the first Harry Potter book.
Okay, sure.
Harry Potter and the Unicorn Blood, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And so, because we thought, hey, it starts when Harry Potter is like 7 years old, and my son's almost 7, so like the timing's perfect. He can read about like this, this special kid,
right.
And he could wish that his life was also special, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so it turns out it was a little too upsetting for him, and he had trouble sleeping last night because of that. So I think we might stop reading that book to him.
Yeah.
For right now. Maybe wait another year or two.
That's probably a good idea.
I mean, he still sleeps with the light on. Does your daughter sleep with the light on?
She does have a little light on. That's right. Yeah. She's 4.
We have one of those spotlights that we got from, there's a theater that closed down. This is a huge, high-powered spotlight. We put it right in his bed, and it's like super bright.
Now that's
it's like, and it's really hot too. It's a very hot.
That seems brighter than you would just have during the day, or during the evening in your house.
He likes a light on, so we wanted to make sure it's enough light for him.
I think you overdid it. Yeah, you overdid it a little bit, probably.
Oh, my God. Oh, you got to change your charged batteries. Hang on.
Yes, I do. You can still hear me, though, right?
Can still hear you, so I guess that's not going to ruin the
It's not going to ruin the podcast, but the video now says charge battery.
Oh, man. I just wonder if I'm going to see you again.
I mean, I feel like you will. I think it seems pretty obvious that you will.
Eventually. So anyway, no. Do you know that when you oh, thank you. Now you're back. When a theater opens up and they have those huge lights outside that kind of they shine up into the clouds, and so they move back and forth, and people can from all over town. People can be like, oh, where are those lights coming from? We better go and see what that is. And then it's just a new theater that's opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we shine on Charlie while he's sleeping.
Wow. So does it like actually like shine outside too? Do people like?
Yeah, a lot of times people do gather around outside his bedroom wondering why there's such intense light radiating from his window.
Now, is that it shines like is right next to his bed?
Put it right next to his bed, and we have to put on like a dozen pairs of sunglasses on that kid to make sure it does not damage his eyesight.
Does he get like tan from it? Is it
he is quite tanned, yeah, except for the area where all the sunglasses are taped to his face.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
You got to tape him because if he rolls over in the night, the sunglasses might fall off.
You might get a visit from somebody at your house. I might call somebody.
Great. I hope they have ice cream because my son loves ice cream.
Okay. How much do you feed him ice cream?
He gets ice cream several times a week. It's just
fine.
A normal amount of ice cream. See, you were trying to frame me. You're trying to make me look like I'm a bad father just because I shine a searchlight on my son at night.
I'm just curious, Greg. I'm just trying to find out the details here. I'm just trying to find the truth. I'm not trying to frame you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So anyway, you'll probably get a visit from someone about Charlie.
We love visitors. We love visitors. So that sounds great to me.
Okay.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Do you sleep with a light in your bed?
No. I sleep with a light in my heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes me feel a warm, the light of love.
Or?
I sleep with the light of love in my heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. You sounded like you were going through something earlier in this podcast, but it sounds like you're doing fine.
No, it was about you, Craig. That was about you. It's not about me.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been concerned about you.
Okay, why are you concerned about me? What's wrong?
Because we're friends, and friends care about their friends. That's just how it works.
Well, yeah, a general concern. Okay, that's fine. But you made it sound like there was something specific.
I hope that people listening to this podcast are learning something about friendship, and that they can glean.
That's right.
Yeah, I just hope they can glean. That's all.
Oh, that's not right. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting an alert that this is the part of the podcast that a lot of people say is their favorite part of the podcast. I'm sorry we waited until so late in the podcast because it's almost done. But this is finally the part of the podcast we've all been waiting for. Everybody loves it every week. The time when Craig and I each suggest an album that we think that you would enjoy listening to. Go ahead, Craig. You go first.
Radiohead's Kid A. It's maybe not for everybody. It's a bit more experimental of an album compared to their early stuff.
Yeah.
Their very early stuff.
I have listened to that. I listened to it on headphones. Sounds good on headphones.
It's my favorite Radiohead album and one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah. I don't care for the music, but I like the way it sounds. It sounds really good.
Okay, I don't know what that means, really.
It means exactly what it sounds like. I mean, like it has great sound. Through headphones, sounds wonderful. Don't care for the music though.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, I mean, I only listen for sound. I don't really care about music. So,
speaking of only listening for sound, I'm going to recommend "Has Been" by William Shatner, produced by Ben Folds. That's an album everybody should listen to. It's got Joe Jackson on vocals on that opening track, and that's just a fun album to listen to.
That sounds like a fun time, yeah.
Yeah, have you not ever heard that album?
I have not.
That's surprisingly good. I mean, Ben Folds wanted to make like a good William Shatner album, and he did. I mean, it's interesting because William Shatner spent like all of his career kind of being a punchline, and then all of a sudden he comes out with this album, and they're like, oh my God, William Shatner is like the greatest recording artist of all time. That's what everybody said when the album came out.
Wait, so how many albums does William Shatner have?
A bunch, probably.
Doesn't he have mostly like comical albums?
Well, they're not comical. They're spoken word because the guy doesn't sing.
Yeah. So is this one spoken word?
Yeah. He sings a tiny bit on it, but you wish that he doesn't.
All right. I will have to check it out.
Yeah, no, you will. You will. And I'll listen to Kid A again, but this time I'll try to ignore the sound and just listen to the music.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your favorite track on Kid A? What's your favorite track? He asked.
Probably the first one, Everything in Its Right Place. It's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, and is everything in its right place in your life?
Well, if you'll notice on the video, I recently pulled my clothes out of the dryer, and they're sitting on the floor.
So wait a minute. Wait. You pull your clean clothes out of the dryer, and you put them on your dirty floor.
Yes. I got to fold them somewhere, Greg.
Well, it seems to me like as soon as you finish folding them, you're going to have to put them back in the washer because they've picked up all the dirt off your floor.
That's not a very highly trafficked place over there.
Yeah, but here's it. Do you wear shoes in the house?
I wear shoes in the house, but I don't wear outside shoes in the house. So
okay, you got your separate inside shoes.
I do, because it's so cold in this basement. My office is in the basement. Yeah. I need to keep my feet warm, so I have to wear shoes.
Man, see, we don't have that problem in Los Angeles. You know why? No basements.
Yeah.
We don't have basements. Look at people learning things. They're learning things on our podcast.
It's because of earthquakes?
I think it's probably because of the soil.
Yep. My relatives in Louisiana, no basements.
Well, their basements would fill with water, I would think, there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here, they would probably fill with pot-smoking hippies. That's probably what they fill.
That's what it is. Yeah. Because they typically live underground.
Yeah. If you get a basement here, those pot-smoking hippies would just seep in.
Yeah.
You'd
they
be like,
come up from the ground.
There's like 8 or 9 pot-smoking hippies in my basement. And then the contractors would say like, I tell you not to build the basement, but you did not listen to me. And I'm like, I should never have hired a French contractor. I am not French. I am from the Antarctic. What?
But wait, why?
You're from the Antarctic? Yes, I am. I am from I was born and raised in Antarctica.
Probably by French people, though. It sounds like.
Yes, my parents were French. How did you guess? Yeah. How did you guess this?
It's the accent. But
would you like me to build a second basement for you? All I do is build basements.
But you said not to build basements.
I'm warning you. Do not let me do it. Would you like to hire me? Please hire me.
Wait, you're going around trying to get people to build basements.
Oh, are you getting mixed signals?
But you also recommend not building basements.
Oh, I'm getting mixed signals. Oh, no, I'm not getting mixed signals.
I am getting mixed signals.
Let me build a basement. Okay. Do not let me build a basement under your house. It is not advised. Please, I will give you a special deal. I will give you a special deal.
Are reminding me of my daughter, actually, but you are saying opposite things.
That's improv. You know what that is? Improv.
Yeah, you know what isn't improv?
What's that?
Telling people that it's improv.
No,
you just took us out of the moment.
I ruined it.
Are
we still doing the sketch, or is the sketch done?
Well, okay, it's done now.
What was the premise of it? Can you sum up the premise in no more than say 200 words?
Yes. A French guy builds basements in LA, but recommends that you don't build a basement.
So I'm a little unclear. He's from France?
Well, he's clearly he comes from French origin. Like his parents are
Okay,
yeah.
See, now you should have said that because you were not specific. And now all I'm imagining is there's a guy from France, and he very clearly said that he was not from France. So I feel like you're misleading our listeners.
No, I feel like the idea behind the sketch is still the same. I think it doesn't really matter that he's. And in fact, if I were to explain this to someone who hadn't listened, I wouldn't want to spoil the fact that he's not from France.
Wow. Speaking of people who are listening, thanks for listening to the podcast, folks. We hope that you had a good time. I'm Greg Benson.
And I'm Craig Benzine.
We will see you next time on Two Guys Talking About Lettuce and Nothing Else.
It's just two guys talking about lettuce, but we also talk about other things.
Nothing else. Bye-bye, folks.
Lettuce, other things, and nothing else. You're right. Okay, bye, everybody. Bye.